Surabaya Town Square or home?
Surabaya Town Square.
Right.
Oh my god! Wing like a roller coaster.
Decided yet? So still open to anyone of the audience.
Oh my god!
Hi Pak Poer.
Hi.
How are you, Pak?
I'm fine, thank you, Pak.
Okay. It's nice to have you here in our podcast.
I'm the one who, believe me, I'm the one who honored to
No, really.
to being here and discuss it with you.
An honor is ours.
No.
It's such great opportunity for us to have you today, and we hope that we could learn something from all of experience and your very worthy knowledge.
Oh no lah,
Yeah.
I'm also still learning, especially in English, because our mother language is not English, right? So let's enjoy the journey together.
This is something that we hope that we can share something outside to reach the audience that usually they just understand English.
Yeah.
So in this session, I mean this podcast, I would like to start with something like rapid question, if you like to answer, and I mean give the speed response from that rapid question. Are you alright?
Bismillah. Bring it on. Bring it on.
I have some questions that I hope this is will get us to know you better.
Yeah.
Because as long as I mean most of our members in Jawa Timur knows you just not very much, because many things that we like to dig it up more.
Okay, I'm fingering I'm crossing my fingers.
All right, I have 6 questions here, sir. And my first question is, KPU or Bawaslu?
Bawaslu.
You can elaborate if you like.
Yeah, because if you have to choose between KPU and Bawaslu, I prefer to choose Bawaslu because it suits with my backgrounds.
All right.
I have a legal background, which very suits with Bawaslu. We handled some violence, we handled the dispute, and those kind of things that makes me feel better in Bawaslu than in KPU.
So can I summarize that it will be very possible that you will continue your term for the next in Bawaslu?
Let's see. I'm focusing on finishing my term first.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay, thank you. That's the first question. And we go for the second question. Oh, this is nice, but I believe it is easy. Bawaslu Jawa Timur or Bawaslu Sumatera Selatan?
Jawa Timur.
Jawa Timur.
Jawa Timur.
Okay.
Jawa
Is it
Timur.
because you belongs to Jawa Timur?
Yeah, because I have the same culture with the Jawa Timur, and then this is also my home.
Alright.
This is my family, and the most differences between South Sumatra and East Java is on the characters.
Okay.
We both are hard or strong, but it easily to communicate with Javanese, with the same Javanese, with the same suku, rather with the others one.
How long you have been there?
Almost 2 years.
Oh, 2 years.
Almost 2
Alright.
years, and I've been quite benefit because I'm only assistant. I'm only assistant, so the main text being handled by the commissioners, and I only give the text behind the text.
All right. Okay. So because now you are also one of the members of the Bawaslu Jawa Timur, of course it must be more responsibility to handle.
Yeah, I think I'm the commissioner, not only the assistant.
All right. This is interesting, and I likely to know that which answers we'll take for this next questions. Good food or diet?
Good food.
Good food.
Good food. Believe me.
I guess it already.
You can see from my stomach. You can see from my body. I love the good
I know
food.
that you done a lot for your. I mean, your for sport, for gym, and also diet. But knowing from your status, I used to see many good and nice food
Yeah.
you display there.
Believe me, I'm doing exercise for my good food. That's so that's the reason.
Right. I agree with that. Okay, next. There's another thing that maybe some of our audience doesn't know or don't know about this. Surabaya Town Square or home?
Surabaya Town Square.
Right.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
What's great about Sutos compared to home?
Because I don't have a house. I'm
right.
still a Tunawisma, right? So I don't have a house, and I used to stay with my grandmother, which we gather with my aunts and my uncles and my siblings there. And why Sutos? Because we can do so many things in Sutos.
So how many hours did you spend, in a day?
It very depends. I used to spend my day in the office, and because in this pandemic, I rarely goes there. I goes there only for my exercise, my gyms.
Alright. It is in Sutos.
It's also in Sutos, or have a cup of coffee with my friends and kind of.
And that's your favorite place, like coffee place?
Yeah, it's kind of like that because I can do my prohibited things there.
Okay.
Coffee and cigarettes. That's really I found in another place.
It's open space there.
That's open space.
Okay, it's coming for fourth question and the fifth. Okay, I think I'll finish with the fifth questions. Reading the laws or the acts, undang-undang or stock exchange predictions.
Oh my god!
I have some interesting
Reading the laws.
Reading the laws.
Yeah.
But I rarely see you nowadays. Mostly.
Yeah, because it's more predictable than the stock these days. The stocks become wing like a roller coaster. Well, the loss is what being written by the article. That's all.
So reading the laws is much preferable then.
Yeah. So even though I also enjoying the stocks because you can feel the adrenaline when it goes up, and you got to know where to cut your profit or cut your loss.
Okay. Yeah, that's life. Sometimes like that.
But believe me, life is not as roller coaster as stocks these days.
Okay.
Wing.
All right. That's another part of Pak Poer. He is also the stock exchanger.
Yeah, I do invest and sometimes trade in the stocks. Yeah.
Okay, that's 5 questions. That's a question that we have, sir.
Alhamdulillah. Oh my God.
Okay, I hope that's we can portray another side of Pak Poer.
Yeah.
Not coming up.
And you got very good questions. Damn, it shoot deep into my heart.
This is what we like to know also from you. So. Okay, Pak Poer. There's another two questions that we would like to you to enlighten us about some topic that this is because we are facing the 2024
elections,
and we are part of the the election committee Bawaslu and KPU. So I read some paper.
So we already going to be serious this now.
Yeah, it's coming a little bit serious.
Yeah.
I think this is the part that you like most. We meet you always in a serious mode.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about the expert said in the paper that Indonesia is not anymore in the transitional election phase or consolidation election phase, but already come to the regular election phase. It's already has long passed because we have the laws, we have the procedures, and also the rules how the election is conducted. But if we learn from the fact that some of the laws is also still changing,
Yeah.
and many amendment there. So are you agree that our election nowadays is already in the regular phase of the democracy?
If we trying to say that the election is in Indonesia is being routine, I've got to agree with that statement, because we already state some permanent stages, namely like mutarle, campaign, or the voting and kind of like that. We already decided which states we have to conduct an elections.
Right.
But we've got to be honest with ourselves that we are still consolidating and in transitioning elections. Why? Because there are some, the first parameters has been said by Mas Alam that the rules has been still changing. The rules has been changing, and one of the and the rules has been changing because the consequences of the Constitutional Court. Constitutional Court decided that the election has been to conduct in 1 year at the same time, seratakan, or what kind of participants who have to being verified or not being verified. That kind of things that I've got to say that we are still in consolidating elections. Because that's of the kind of questions. In terms of elections as part of the democracy, it's also got a bigger consequences, because we need to still decide whether it's a proportional terbuka or tertutup. How much, whether we're going to use parliamentary threshold as an instrument to simplify the political parties. That is the kind of things that we still need to decide it, whether we still we still have to do it, or we already being stated elections.
By the mean that consolidation, that it means that our institution, I mean the Bawaslu, is still very much needed, required for this situation.
Yeah, because for myself, I still believe that the Bawaslu is also part of the consequences of the check and balances systems. We need something. We need bodies to control the elections organizer. In this term is KPU. We still need a body to monitor, so the participants of elections doesn't violate the rules. We still need body to give a neutral standing to the Constitutional Court at the end of the elections. That's why I still believe that Bawaslu is important in Indonesia.
Yeah, but I'm also still curious that we just found a few countries that having such institution like what we have. I mean the Bawaslu, that is the supervisory institution in the election. It's only about 4 or 5 countries on the world. Is it? I mean the sign that maybe our democracy is still in developed or underdeveloped compared to other countries. Mostly they don't have that such kind of.
Before we goes to the statement whether Bawaslu put us in an underdeveloped country in terms of democracy, we have to see the kind of elections. So in general perspective, there are no perfect elections. Elections is very depends on the country itself. In terms of Indonesia, we cannot. In terms of Bawaslu, we cannot define whether the existence of Bawaslu define whether a country is underdeveloped or being developed or even developing country in terms of democracy. But in Indonesia, we still need Bawaslu, because the KPU, if we see from the past, even the Bawaslu comes from KPU. If the first, we see that it cannot control the KPU fully, then we try to separate the elections organized in this term of KPU with the Bawaslu, so the control will be more maximal. So in terms of Indonesia, we cannot say Indonesia were underdeveloped countries in terms of democracy just because of the Bawaslu. What I'm trying to say is because in Indonesia we still need bodies like Bawaslu.
All right. So the existence of Bawaslu, such kind of supervisory institution, is not a sign that our democracy is still underdeveloped country.
Yeah, because in context Indonesia, the past shows that way, but it's also give us the Bawaslu more challenge.
Okay.
Because if we really supervise the KPU, then what we need is to increase our accountability. We need to be more responsible to the peoples, to the parliaments, to the executive about what we are doing.
Okay.
How we conduct the supervisory, how we settle the dispute, how we settle the violence, and how we give the statement to the constitutional court.
All right. Okay, sir. Because according to the experience, I mean, because I learned that you have some experience for the overseas program. Maybe it is also important for us to know some information or the fact about the election outside, especially is it US and
United States, and especially in United States.
How the supervisory or the surveillance of the election conducted there, and maybe you can also elaborate the experience of the program that you joined last time.
Okay. That's a very simple questions, but it takes a lot of answers. Okay, let me answer the first one. How the election being supervised in United States?
Right.
I cannot talk about the general United States because the elections in United States is very depends on the states itself. So the Georgia where I stayed they have their own regulations on how to conduct their elections.
All right.
It might be different with Texas, it might be different with New York, it might be different with Michigan, it might be different with Nevada. So I cannot talk about
that's local elections.
Yeah. So even though the election choose the House of Representatives, even the presidents and the vice, but the Georgia is allowed to regulate their own kind of votes.
Okay.
That's all. So in 2016, I was sponsored to go to Georgia. So I can talk about Georgia, but maybe not the other 49 states. In Georgia, the supervisory being conducted by the executive itself.
All right.
So the elections itself being conducted by the executive. The executive conduct the elections, while on the other hand also supervise the election itself. It goes from the states, county, and until the local level.
Okay, so but the supervisory is still there.
Yeah.
It's not absent.
No,
and
still there.
The surveillance is also not conducted by the
other bodies,
civil citizens.
No.
Okay. So I mean the surveillance and the supervisor is always there anywhere in the elections.
And the elections,
Okay, whether it is by like Bawaslu like us or any other institution is always there.
What being mandated to supervise the elections is a body that attached in the executive. Okay. There are still people who watch the elections. That's
is it also happen in Australia?
In Australia, I'm not really lucky if in terms of elections, because in Australia I was learn about how to handle hoax in general in general because I go there with various backgrounds of peoples, not only in the political or the elections, but also the civil society who work for the religions, civil society who works for the media, and even the government official itself.
And now that's very useful because you are in charge in the what is that TVC
HDI, yeah, who got to in charge on the monitoring campaign in social media.
Hoaks and black campaign.
Yeah.
Okay.
And for the second question, to be honest, I'm quite lucky because even before I goes to the United States, I used to work with regional organizations who based in Bangkok, but I was placed in Jakarta.
Okay.
By working in the regional organizations, I were able to work remotely in Kuala Lumpur, Burma, even in Thailand. And then I used to get a leadership training from the UNESCO in Bangkok.
Okay.
Far way before the 2016.
Okay.
And then in 2016, when the United States government opened an applications for the short course, we call it YSEALI in 2016. I applied and we were sent to different states.
That's for the Georgia. I mean.
Yeah, that's I with my others 5 colleagues goes to Georgia, and I personally, we call it magang in a body who in charge on the elections in Georgia.
Oh right, so that's you experience specifically about the election.
Yeah, and believe me, they have facilitate me to visit the elections at that time, because in 2016
election also.
yeah, we know that was the Donald Trump being elected.
Right.
The competitions between Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton. So in 2016 they put me in the body, and then they try to show me how the elections, even how they prepare the machine to vote, to cast the vote. In Georgia, most of the states still using the electronic voting.
Right.
So they show me where they put the machine, how to
give a vote.
Not only to give the vote, how to prepare the machines before they use the machine to cast the ballots, and then how to use the machine itself. That's what I got from the United States, from the YSEALI. And then the last time I went to Australia in Brisbane.
This in 2018?
Yeah, 2020.
20? Oh,
20.
Just last year.
Yeah, just last year. 2019, after the elections, after the general elections. I went to Australia and we learned about Hoaks. It's kind of short course. So they put us in class and give us a lot of source person who knows much about Hoaks, social media, and digital literacy and kind of like that.
Are you coming as part of the representative of Bawaslu, or is this personal?
I applied it individually.
All right.
But they knows that I came from the election supervisory body or the election committee during in 2016.
How that benefits you? I mean, as part of the Bawaslu, I mean, the experience being in USA and in Australia, how that benefit you? I mean, as part of.
Believe me, it's not only benefit me. For example, after I went to the Australia, I can use the network to prepare the local election in 2020.
How come?
We conduct the training, how to monitor the social media.
Okay. Is it also, I mean, taking the example of the election for the Hoaks? I mean, during the Brisbane program.
Not specific in elections, but they know that I work for the elections, and I use the network to conduct the training. I try to combine the official governments, the NGO, and the platform to enlighten us how to monitor the media social.
Okay.
And for the knowledge itself, they give me some of the tools how to monitor the social media. And so that's for the Australia. And for the United States, believe me, being there, during the elections, it gives you a very different ambience. You can see how active the civil society.
Okay.
So I don't know whether it's appropriate or not, but I went to a bar, and in the bar, they not only have a party. You know what they do? They conduct a debate. Debate. So when the
Okay.
When the president's candidates conduct the debate in the national levels, they show it in a bar, and the visitors sees the debate, and then when the debate's over, they discuss the debate in a bar.
That's happened also in Indonesia when they come to warung kopi.
Yeah, we have it warung kopi, but in my perspective, bar is place to party, right?
Alright,
but it happens there,
and still they have the attention to the election.
They talk about the health security, job replacement, and kind of like that in the bar. That's the first thing. The second thing, we can see that so many barriers on how to conduct the elections. For example, in United States, especially in Georgia, the candidates were still able to do campaign during the voting days. During the voting days. So if you goes to the
voting place,
TPS, and when you go out, you will see people bring their
we used to see in the news.
That kind of like that. Even they put some of the APK alat peraga kampanye in the road.
And it's no problem.
There's no problems because it's allowed as long as 15 feet from the polls, from the TPS, or how they use the machines to cast ballots, which being issued during the presidential election 2016. If you remember, there's issue for intervention, for the hack. They use the machines, and I've been grateful for being involved in this kind of short course.
So do you think it is also important for us, as part of the Bawaslu, to experience something like what you had? Of course,
because it's give. Believe me, I'm the one who kind of person that believe that picnics give you more perspective. So if you, because if people say that kamu kurang piknik, it's true. Because went to the United States or the Australia, it really give you not a perspective that we are not the one. We are not the right one. There are still more informations, more practice that you can adopt or you can learn for the sake of our country.
So I hope that we have another session next time for you to explain or to share the knowledge how to apply.
Ya siap. Masalah. bisa.
That's the last question.
Really? Oh my god.
That's for the main topic.
I
still have in my pocket one last question, and this question is maybe the hardest one. But I don't know what the question are because we collect it from the friends from the group Cangkruan.
Oh my god!
We take it from there. When we gather all the questions we put here. About 10 or.
Oh my god!
This question are I don't know what are they, but I will not read it. I ask you to take one of them, whatever it comes.
I need to answer it.
I will read it.
Yeah.
Then you have to answer it.
Siap. Bismillah.
Take it one of them. Or I will check it first.
Come on.
Sorry. One of them.
Ya Allah, Bismillah.
I'll show to the camera what's the questions.
It shows name, right? It shows name.
No. This question.
Cangkruan ya? It's from Cangkruan. Yeah.
I can show to the camera. And this is the questions. Only one. Are you ready? This is, and you have to answer it honestly. Have you decided the date of your wedding invitations?
What the? Astagfirullah.
This is coming from this one person here.
No.
I read again. Have you decided the date of your wedding invitation, sir? It's coming like this. I don't know who made this, or maybe after this, Pak Hazarin can clarify.
Yeah. Cangkruan. Yeah. I have decided the places.
The place is good.
But not the date, because it very depends on who I'm going to get married with.
The place is already settled.
Yeah.
Then it is close.
Yeah.
Usually by means place we already put the date also.
No, because it very depends on who I'm going to marry with.
Okay, so still many options there.
Yeah, there's so many options. Believe me, sooner is better.
Amin. Oh, okay. So the date is not decided yet. So still open to anyone of the audience.
Oh my god!
To interpret the date and also the couple.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Pak.
Siap masalah.
For coming and enlighten us with your knowledge and also experience. It's very much, word for us to have you here in our podcast.
The pleasure is also mine.
And I hope we can conduct another session that with different topic and also give us another knowledge. Thank you and
okay.
see you.
See you next time.
See you.